Moment of silence for the champions, for those who make going hard a lifestyle. Never wait for nothing, gotta get it right now. I'm in the spotlight when they turn the lights down. Only a champ swing the hardest in the 12th round. I love the fourth quarter, I love the ninth inning, I love game 7. Bring on the competition, cause in my heart can't nobody do it better. Can't slow me down, won't stop me never. I'm so Cassius Clay, I'm Tyson in his prime.
What's up, motherfuckers, and welcome back to the Pressure Podcast. This is a Thursday night edition. Let's get it.
Give me a hell yeah!
Tonight we will be covering the N3A Finals, Game 6, just finished. We will be covering that, and we will cover a little bit of the QFL. But we also have a nice topic. We will be naming our top 5 favorite NBA Finals games. I meant to do that a few weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, but after Medellin, I completely forgot. So we're back, and we are live from our studio in Orlando, Florida. It's your boy King Coke.
LeBron. Finish him!
Rated M for Millennials. It is Throwback Thursday. We are here midnights, Monday, Thursday, and Saturdays on YouTube at Pressure Podcast Live. Feel free to subscribe, comment, give us your takes, and hit the notification bell so you know whenever we hop on and start talking our shit, baby. You already know. So the headlines read, Indy forces Game 7. The Lakers sold for $9 billion, 9 point something, almost $10 billion. And my Baltimore Ravens signed Zaire Alexander, cornerback, free agent from the Green Bay Packers. That is what I'm talking about.
Fatality.
So we will get to the QFL in a few, but let's get to the Game 6 of the N3A Finals, where the Pacers blow out the Oklahoma City Thunder. 108-91. The series is tied 3-3, which means one thing and one thing only. Game 7, motherfucker.
Give me a hell yeah!
Indy runs OKC out of town and into Game 7 Sunday. Led by SGA, 21 points and 8 turnovers. OKC had a total 21 turnovers. For the first time in the series, they had over 20. What are your takeaways from this game?
Ass whooping. Nah. Honestly, the starters did enough to bother what Williams and SGA were doing. I also thought the rest let them play a little more physical than usual, but at the same time, Chet Williams, Shea, they didn't do anything, and shit, Indiana's bench. That's what I take. Indiana's bench. And Nembhard finally showed up. That was big. I mean, I said Toppin would have a big game, and he did. And they needed it. Or maybe they really didn't need it in this game, but they did need it in the sense of, like, he did spark that offense because I think it was, like, towards the end of the first quarter where they couldn't make a goddamn shot. Siakam made that little mid-range, and we saw it. We was just watching it. We was like, damn, we can't make shit. And then all of a sudden, Toppin hit 2 in a row, and it just like it got them going. So that was big by Toppin having a big game. I knew he would need that, and I felt like that just like built their confidence up to like where they was actually playing Indiana ball, and then the defense swarming. I mean, like. They really brought it like they knew their season was on the line.
It was. It was an elimination game.
And then my other take is OKC shot the ball terribly, turned the ball over a lot. The only silver lining was that they have 40 points in the paint, which is great for them.
What's up, King Jamie? Welcome back to the Pressure Podcast, brother. Just talking the takes of what we took out of Game 6 of the N3A Finals. What I took away from this game is that Indiana played the best defense of their series tonight. Today was the best defensive performance I've seen from the Pacers all finals, and hopefully it's a sign of things to come. Halliburton's hamstring or calf injury did not seem very menacing. Looks like he was just fine. Turnovers is the main reason why the Pacers won this game. The Thunder didn't shoot the ball good, so you could add that onto it. But I think the turnovers were the main reason that killed them anything. Because anytime they try to make a run, turnovers will give Indiana another run back.
Absolutely.
And Indiana wasn't shooting lights out like that either. They really weren't. You know what I'm saying? They only had 108 points. It's just that it was such a blowout because the Thunder just couldn't get nothing going. SGA had I think his second worst performance of the playoffs. And 8 turnovers is just ugly. And you don't expect him to do that 2 games in a row. I know it. But injury is it's a part of the sports. It's just a part of sports.
Part of it, bro. We gotta deal with it.
You know, but it doesn't look like his calf was bothering him so much. It actually looks like he was pretty healthy to me. It looks like his his calf is just fine. One thing to note, though, is that obviously Indiana's supporting cast showed up, and Oklahoma's didn't. And we all know that the role players show up better at home than on the road. But like I told you against the Nuggets series, and I was proven right, just because you're at home doesn't necessarily mean they're going to show up, especially if it's a Game 7. At Game 7, it's usually a lower scoring performance than the rest of the series average. Game 7 is usually a lot more more careful shots. They're not going to be so carefree. Game 7 is usually a little bit more nerve-wracking. Game 7 is when people start, having migraines, cramps, menstrual cycles, all that shit.
What the fuck?
And I know you're thinking men don't have menstrual cycles. Tell that to LeBron James. He has a lot of menstrual cycles. A lot of them.
Be cool, nigga.
But back to the Thunder. Has your pick changed or looked?
I mean, my pick didn't hit. I'm still going with OKC, but this is a toss up. I mean, I said if they get this game somehow, some way. The way they got this game was dominant, but it's a toss up to me. McConnell's playing great right now. If Nembhard keep playing this aggressive, offensively and defensively, he could probably bother SGA a little bit more, and this game could be a toss up. Because even though Chet had 4 points in this game, last game he had 9. So it's not like he had that much better at home, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he was that much better at home than he was on the road. He gave him 5 more points at home. Like
Chet Holmgren's he's a disgrace. I was saying earlier in the group chat that we have, Chet Holmgren must be the tallest dude I know in basketball. That's ass. Like, I've never seen somebody so tall in basketball and be that ass in the sport. And my friend said Rudy Gobert, but Rudy Gobert is a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year winner. This guy doesn't do nothing on defense or offense. This man is literally useless. And I see why they had to sign Isaiah Hartenstein away from my Knicks last summer. I didn't think they needed a center, but it looks like they actually did. They saw what they have in Homo Green, is what I call him, and they don't got much. Chet sucks. Chet absolutely sucks. This man misses layups, wide open layups. He just has, I don't know, butterfingers. His shot never falls when he needs him to. He doesn't get to the free throw line. He's not a defensive anchor. He's not a defensive presence. And that's just what it is.
Dog man says, nigga, dog man.
I'm not trying to hate on the man. It's just, I call it how it is. And the man is literally whack. And I think that if the Thunder, remember what I said a few days ago? Remember how we were comparing Batman and Robin and and Wolverine and Deadpool. So if you didn't see it, here it is one more time. Here's Batman and Robin. They were averaging 58.2 combined points per game, while Wolverine and Deadpool were 35.6 points per game, which is why I had them winning the series. But what happened here is that SGA and Williams matched the low output of Halliburton and Siakam. Siakam and Halliburton finished with exactly 30, I believe, and then these two finished with like 37. And that's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it because you don't have a supporting cast. You have a deep team, but that's inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? It's inconsistent. That's why I always said, I know SJ is going to show up to the party, but I don't know who else will. Because if it's only Williams, that's not going to be enough to win the title. And for those who were going out, Williams and SGA, because they were on a high swing, I said, do not live on the moment. Because if these guys were to lose the next two games, this is going to be a collapse and a dark cloud that's going to hover over their careers for the rest of their careers, literally. So remember, I said that. I also said that I expected Siakam and Halliburton to be a little better, especially if Halliburton was healthy. They weren't what I expected, but the supporting cast did way better. Obi Toppin actually led the team with 20 points. Obi Toppin was actually the second leading scorer of the entire game. And, you know, he's not always going to have like 4 3-pointers in a game, but Obi Toppin is going to have some slam dunks. He's going to have some steals. He's going to have some, maybe 1 3, and it might be a timely 3.
Or 2 or 3.
And I don't know about Neymar. I think Siakam was the reason that your boy here struggled, SGA. Siakam is the guy who should be guarding SGA for the rest of the series.
No, you're right. Chet does have talent, but talent doesn't always meet the court.
King Jamie just wants to piss me off. It's because you in Kansas City, you think you could go for Oklahoma City Thunder, eh? Well, forget you, Midwesterner. I don't care about Oklahoma. I don't care about Kansas. I don't care about none of those teams over there. You just want to piss me off with your Chief talk. He said, it still sucks. Obviously, it does. Injuries. Imagine the single season where nobody got hurt and we got to see the best versus the best. And I agree. We always agree that because he said that he's happy his Chiefs were 100% after being literally 29 the year before. So I agree. But fuck your Kansas City Chiefs and fuck the Oklahoma City Thunder.
No, but that's what I'm saying to him. Like, he's talented, but talent sometimes don't meet the court. Sometimes it just shows in moments, and then it's not there anymore. He's very inconsistent. He's very inconsistent. If he has a good game, more than likely the next game he's just not gonna show up because that's what he's been.
Well, I mean I didn't bet because I was still at work. I had got cut early, so I was able to watch the game. I was gonna bet the Pacers win and the under on all of Holmgren's stats, which probably hit.
Funny thing is, I did that. I think it was game. Whatever game he had, like 14 points in the first half. He had like 14 points in the first half. I bet the under 14. Because, I mean, the guy doesn't score. Nah, he decided to get more than 14.
Who
in
does?
that game?
Homo Green. He says it might be make it big one day. I don't even like basketball, but I never did a kid who made it to the show except Derek Carr and Tony Romo. Everybody has. There's a Tony Romo and a Derek Carr for somebody somewhere. All right. There's Pac-Man Punk Ass Jones. There's Deshaun Jackass. I have a whole list. There's Ryan Fitzpatrick. There's Luke McClown. There's who's another oh, Down Syndrome Jones. That's Daniel Jones over there for the New York Giants. Used to be New York Giants. I call him Down Syndrome Jones.
We got Herb.
We got the Herb. Looks like Caleb Williams is going to be there. I'm still looking for a nickname for Windy City Williams.
That might be it.
Windy City Williams, yeah, but that's only when he's playing good. When he's playing like ass, I don't know what to call him.
No, Windy Williams.
Oh, that's a good one.
Finish him.
Windy Williams. Windy City is what he's called. Windy when he's playing like a bitch. Windy Williams show on XM Radio. Listen, I'm sure.
I don't care how nice they are.
I'm sure. I'm sure they're model citizens. I'm not saying they're assholes. I'm just saying on the football field, fuck them, okay? And I will actually say this to them in their face. I will tell Ryan Fitzpatrick, I call you Ryan Fitzpatrick. Just like I will tell the entire locker room of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I call y'all Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't hide. And it may not be smart on my part, but it's just who I am. Nothing I will say on this podcast, I will not say in front of somebody's face. And I'm only going to call you out when you earn it. I'm not going to say nothing like Skip Bayless calls Chris Bosh Spice for no reason. I'm not going to be like that. You got to earn it. Deshaun Jackass earned his name because he kept flipping over the end zone and leaving the ball at the 1 yard line. He did it in college and then he did it in the pro. So 2 times I'm going to call you a jackass. It just comes to me. It's not me saying that he's a jackass. It just comes to me. The nickname comes to me depending on what their names is or what they do.
That nigga ain't flip. He threw the ball back and then he tried to celebrate. And niggas was all, everybody in the room was like, I don't think he crossed the line. if you know football, everybody in the fucking
King Jamie. So this is I think it was a Thursday night game. I was at work. And I got cut early, kind of like today, but it was like around halftime. And it's the New York Trash versus somebody. I forgot who it was. And the Trash are getting their ass whooped, right? And I try to tell these guys that the New York Trash is not a real football organization. I've told everybody in the podcast, don't trust this team. This is not a real football organization. They're just there to be there. Someone has to be there, so they're just there to be there. I am convinced they don't know how to run a football organization at all, let alone properly. So they're watching the game, and in this game, there was a pick 6. There was a fumble recovered by the New York Trash, and in the ensuing possession, they fumble right back in funny fashion. And then when they finally score a touchdown on offense, the rookie, his first ever football NFL pro touchdown,
Malachi Corley.
he does the exact same thing to Deshaun Jackson that leaves it in the 1 yard line. Oh shit.
Malachi Corley. The rookie.
And I'm just trying to, and the people were like, yo, this is not a real football team. I see what you're saying. This is really not it's a slapstick team. This is why you laugh at them so much. And it's always in prime time. All that shit always happens in prime time. Name another team who has a prize quarterback come here to save the day with a nasty defense, right? You're on the up and come up. The tabloids are there. The fans are there. The stadium's packed. You got, even the NFL gave you a schedule full of primetime games. And on the first fucking series, you lose that quarterback for the rest of the year. On the very first fucking series. He didn't even get to throw one pass. And Aaron Rodgers was gone. That was prime time. Only those guys butt fumble on Thanksgiving night with the whole world watching. You see what I'm saying? Shit like that. The fake spike, that was prime time. Only that shit happens to them. So when things like that happen, I'm going to call you out for it, and I'm going to laugh at you for it. And I have every right. You did it, not me. And I'm not going to go to guys that make mistakes like Chris Webber when he called a timeout and didn't have one. I'm not going to laugh at that because before that, how many people actually thought to count how many timeouts they had left? It's because of that example that everybody now knows, or other than J.R. Smith, obviously, motherfucker.
Finish him.
That you're supposed to know how many timeouts you got left and how much time you got left and what the score is. You can never forget what the score is. You got to know how much time is left and how many fouls you got to give and timeouts left in basketball and football, whatever you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, we've seen time and time again.
There's some dumbass doing something that other dumbasses have done, and I'm not a villain for calling you something out of it. You just deserve it. That's just the way I am. No, I think that Rodgers will be better in that organization because the Steelers are a very, very good organization. You know what I'm saying? I've told my friends, I have seen Michael Vick go to the New York Trash and play like shit. And everybody's like, yeah, but that was because he was old. Yet the very next year, he went to the Pittsburgh Steelers and they went 5-2 without Roethlisberger. 5-2. He had a 70% completion percent and all. So no, I don't want to hear he's old. It's because that was a better organization. Watch. As good as Aaron Rodgers looked like he played last year, watch how much better he plays this next year.
You can argue he's gonna have a better year on the Steelers than Wilson did.
Yeah. And King Jamie,
I think Wilson
to be honest with you,
but not crazy.
to be honest with you, I'm not saying that these guys are all good. I'm just saying there might not be nothing wrong with Zach Wilson. They may not have never been something wrong with Sam Darnold. They may never have been nothing wrong with Geno Smith or Mark Sanchez or any of those guys. Maybe it's not the quarterbacks that's the problem. Maybe it's the organization. Because I've seen time and time again too many quarterbacks go somewhere else and play way better. Maybe not elite, but way better.
Darnold.
Way better. It's not even close.
Sam Darnold's winning.
Yeah, I know that. But watch, something tells me Aaron Rodgers is going to have a way better comeback season-esque than what you saw with the New York Trash. The New York Trash, you just can't measure a player there. So if you see an absolute stud wrecking shit for the New York Trash and he becomes a free agent, grab him because that might be the best player of all time for all you know at his position. Because if they're that good on that bad of an organization, imagine how good they'd be in a real organization.
Rodgers still can throw that shit.
Yeah, so
If he could just stand in that pocket and throw that bitch.
well, he ain't gonna be able to throw it nowhere anymore. At least 2 times a year for at least 2 times a year. Because guess what my Baltimore Ravens just did? He just made it tougher for the fucker. He just made it to where Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna have nowhere to throw 2 times a year at least. You've got Nate Wiggins who did not allow a touchdown until the playoffs. Rookie, not anymore. You got Awuzie from the Titans, who's a very, very good physical corner. And you also have Jair Alexander, who's a specimen corner. He's one of the best cover corners in the game when healthy. And then you also have Marlon Humphrey, who's also one of the best man-on-man press corners in the game. And then you got my boy Malachi Starks, who's a rookie out of Georgia, and Kyle Hamilton, probably the best safety in the league, arguably. Arguably the best safety in the league. There's others, but you know what I'm saying? He's up in the list. He's just really up there. What's Aaron Rodgers going to do? What's Aaron Rodgers going to do? We might just have the best secondary in the league behind you guys. We just might. It may be even better. We'll see. It all depends on Malachi Starks and how these guys stay healthy and develop into our system.
Malachi Starks is going to be a fucking dog.
Alan Glenn may have moxie, but there's nothing wrong with Alan Glenn. There's nothing wrong with the guy that they just fired. There's nothing wrong with the Muhammad guy. There was nothing wrong with Rex Ryan. Adam Gase, there was something wrong with him. There was definitely something wrong with him.
Goddamn white boy.
But all the other guys, there may not have been nothing wrong with Bill Parcells there or nobody. I'm telling you, bro. There was nothing wrong with DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Nick Mangold, Darrell Revis, Cromartie, any guy that you saw that actually played good that were there, and you wondered, is it just because they played a bad team so they outshine everybody? No. Some of those guys were actually very good. But all the other guys that you don't think, like Muhammad Wilkerson, and you're like, you're scratching your head, I don't know. I don't think he's all that. If you put him in a better team or in a better organization, watch, he'll be all that. Aaron Glenn ain't going to fix that. Aaron Glenn ain't going to fix that. He ain't going to fix the organization. It's the organization. It's going to be the same shit again. They're not making the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs. They're going to go 7-10 maximum, King Jamie. They're not making the playoffs. They can't contend with the best in the AFC. Look, you see, this is the thinking that I don't like. No, that's sheep mentality. You don't believe that. Rex Ryan was a dud. He ruined the trash, and he liked Salah, and Gase was a turd sandwich. Yes, Gase was a turd sandwich. But Rex Ryan is the last guy that actually got them to the playoffs. And not only that, he got them two from the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. Okay? They haven't been to the playoffs since. They haven't been to the playoffs since Rex Ryan. So I can't say, I don't know how you say he was a dud when he was the best thing that ever happened to them.
On a bad organization.
He was the best thing that ever happened to the New York Trash in a long time, broski. And that's why I'm a Ravens fan. Everything that good ever came to that team came from Baltimore. Every single little thing. So fuck that team. Rex Ryan was the only guy that went to Tom Brady's house and blissed the shit out of his ass. It's easy to do it in the Super Bowl, but try to do it in Gillette Stadium where the referees are not very friendly. You think they're very friendly to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl? You should see how it is in his own stadium, in the snow, with the hoodie guy over there, Belichick. Please stop. Please stop the nonsense. There is nothing wrong with Rex Ryan. And Rex Ryan is a Baltimore Ravens product. That team was not built for him. That team was not built for him. You are wrong. You are absolutely wrong. That team was not built for him. The 2010 year, yes. 2009 year, no. That was a surprise. That was a surprise. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. No. That team was not built for him. He didn't handpick his players. No, broski, no. You're blaming the coach instead of blaming the organization, who's proven ever since he's left that it's been them the whole time. You're giving the New York Trash an excuse and blaming it on Rex Ryan like all the other sheep mentality dudes do. No, sir, I'm not going to let you. You can have the sheep mentality if you want to, but that's not the truth. The truth is, time has proven it's the organization that made him look like an ass, not him make them look like an ass. They were an ass before he got there. And they're an ass after he got there. You're acting like the New York Trash were a good organization until after Rex Ryan. They were not. He did not take over a fantastic team. They didn't make the playoffs the year before either, brother. He did not take over a fantastic team. He did not. He made it into a fantastic team with his defense. They were not a fantastic team offensively. They just could run the ball like the Baltimore Ravens do. Where did he come from? Baltimore. He modeled his team exactly like the Ravens. Okay, so no, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. That was not an elite team by any means necessary. That is not an elite team by any means necessary. He made them look elite. Remember, the first year they were 9-7, made it to the AFC Championship game. The second year they were 11-5, 11-5, yeah, or 10-6, and made it to the AFC Championship game. They were wild card teams. I see what you did there. But no. There's no way you could tell me that Rex Ryan was the reason that the New York Trash looked like an ass organization, because they were like that way before him. The fake spike happened before him. All that shit happened with Dan Marino before him. They haven't been nothing. Bill Belichick resigned and went to the Patriots the same day before him. No, don't give me that. Don't give me that. But I think we got the best secondary in the AFC now, and I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are nothing to be worried about, because we got bigger fish to fry. We got Joe Burrow, who doesn't give a fuck about our secondary. We got Pat Mahomes, who doesn't give a fuck about our secondary. And we've got Josh Allen out there, who don't give a fuck about our secondary. And then maybe even C.J. Stroud. So who the fuck is Aaron Rodgers come over here trying to scare here? Not here. Not in our division. This is our division. This is our division, baby. But what do you think is the best secondary in Ravens history? This might be a chance. Could this be a chance? Because we had Deuce McAllister. We had a lot of guys back then. Rod Woodson, you know what I'm saying? We had some guys.
Damn, I don't know.
We had some guys back then, so I don't know. But safety and corner tandem like this might just be. But they got to prove it on the field. And as I mentioned with Ed Reed, you know what I'm saying? With Ed Reed, that is special in his own. So I don't think that's possible. I don't think you can make a better secondary.
That's what I was saying. Like, just Ed Reed.
Finish him.
I don't think you can.
Ed Reed crushes all of them.
Yeah, but imagine Ed Reed and Deuce McAllister there. You know what I'm saying? So there's just nobody you can throw to at one side of the field at all. You know what I'm saying? So that was an advantage that they definitely have. And even before that, the Trent Dilfer days and all that shit. This might be a chance to be the best secondary in Ravens history statistically. But in my view, any secondary that includes Ed Reed is going to be better than any secondary without Ed Reed. It's just the way I see it.
Yeah, man.
Ed Reed was that dude. Ed Reed was that dude.
Like that.
No, he is that dude
was,
still.
That secondary was just ham because of
Fatality.
To be honest, that motherfucker. Oh, that boy has some range.
So let's get to the top 5 NBA Finals games. Your top 5 favorite games.
Okay, so my first is the 2008 game, Game 4, Celtics Lakers. We were down 22 points and we came back and won that game. And it was big.
When I wanted to say something, but I was like, you know what? I might be prepared for both. Pause. When you asked me, hey, let's do the rankings that you mentioned before, where you rank the top 5 NBA Finals games of all time, your favorite. Are you asking me the top 5 of all time, or are you asking me the 5 time of all time that I've personally seen?
I'm doing like personally.
Okay.
Yeah. Because best I ever seen, that's...
Correct. That's why I was like, you didn't specify, so I was like, wait.
Yeah, okay, so... And then Game 5, the flu game, 1997, Mike dropped 38 in that game. Unbelievable. Got it done in the clutch as well. Game 4, 1987, Lakers trailed by 16. This is the one that Magic Johnson hit the little hook shot on them to win the game. So that one, that was dope to watch. 2024, of course, the beatdown. JB gets the MVP, and then 19. So this is not.
What was the one you just mentioned? What was the one you just mentioned?
2024.
Okay. And what was the
1969 is the Bill Russell when he won as a coach and as a player. But I haven't seen that game, so I'll just say that's the most impressive thing I've seen in the NBA Finals.
Oh, you mean the one where they had the balloon still up there?
I believe that was it. He was a coach in
That was his last year playing.
That was it. He was a coach in the
All right, King Jamie. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Take care of yourself, man, and I'll see you soon. Yes, and defense is what we will always be known for.
Enjoy that shit, King Jamie.
I always say the team that introduced the hit stick in Madden was a Raven. Baltimore Ray Lewis, baby. Let's fucking go. I cannot wait.
So which ones are yours, sir?
All right.
NBA.
So my number 5, the favorite NBA Finals game, is the Game 5 of the 2016 NBA Finals, the 41-41 by Kyrie and LeBron. That was a good one, right?
Give me a hell yeah!
Another one is the Spurs versus Heat in 2014. No, 2013. 2013, the Ray Allen game. I actually watched that one live, and I wish I didn't. I was in the hospital. My boy had some cyst in his stomach.
Oh, shit.
So we went over there to go visit him, and we were like, he had just went out of surgery. He was feeling good, and I asked him, "You had ice cream yet?" He's like, "No." What are you talking about? Like in the hospitals, you get free ice cream. Just that's after. He's like, "For real?" And the hot nurse, there was like 2 of them. The hot Puerto Rican nurse came. She's like, "Yeah, you want ice cream?" And she asked all of us, "You want ice cream?" "Yep, I want ice cream." She went over there, and when she came back, as soon as she opened the door, that Ray Allen shot hit, and I'm like, he don't need the ice cream no more. Fuck him, because he's a Miami Heat fan.
Finish him!
So I'll never forget that day. Number 3 is the
That's funny.
number 3 is the Jordan 92 final. So in Game 1. So this is after Jordan's already won one, and he has had one rival in his position as shooting guard, in Clyde Drexler, and they were wanting to see in a 7-game series who would win. And Jordan took that personally because they say that Drexler is a better 3-point shooter, and 3 is better than 2. So Jordan went in there and made 8 threes in a row, scored 37 points in the first half, and shrugged to Magic Johnson, who he told the night before playing poker, I'm gonna whoop his ass. All right, that's 3. Number 2 is it's kind of weird. It's another funny story. So number 2 is the New York Knicks and the Houston Rockets 1994 Game 5. The series is tied 2-2, and Patrick Ewing is having the best game of his entire playoffs. He is making everything. He's turning it around. He's dunking on people. He's swatting everything out there. He's making Olajuwon look like his bitch. He's making 3-pointers. He's got the garden rocking, right? And he ended up with 45 points, but I only got to see 35 of it. Because you know what happened next? The TV cut off to some motherfucker running away in a white Bronco in some area in LA. His name is O.J. Simpson. I cannot make that up. I cannot make that up. That is the truth.
Talk that sass, nigga. Talk that.
Long story short, I didn't get to watch the rest of the Patrick Ewing game because O.J. Simpson didn't want to turn himself in. And everybody preferred to watch that over the NBA Finals. And I'm just a kid. I don't even know what's going on. I just know something's wrong with O.J. Simpson. The guy I see the commercials and Naked Gun and all that shit, he's running away from the police. That's all I know.
That's hilarious.
And my favorite NBA Finals game is Iverson going into LA against Shaq and Kobe and dropping 48 on their punk asses and walking out like a king. Those are my top 5 NBA Finals games I ever watched.
Damn, that one was crazy. Because in one way, you're like, damn, I'm watching history right now.
And then
another way,
you're watching history
I'm
again.
watching history here, too, though. Like, what the fuck?
You could actually Google it. Did the NBA Finals in '94 get switched off for the OJ? You'll see it was Game 5. And when you watch the Game 5 highlights on YouTube, you will see Ewing was going off, bro. That was the last game the Knicks won. We ended up losing in 7 games.
45 points. What
Yep.
game.
Patrick went off. Fucking OJ. Motherfucking OJ. You can't make this
You
shit
could have
up, bro.
done this yesterday. Could have drove this Bronco head the other day.
I promise you, only New Yorkers were pissed off, or people in Texas were pissed off. That's about it. Fuck OJ, that's NBA Finals here. What the hell? We didn't have no YouTube back then. No, you know what I'm saying? Nobody had AOL back then just yet. It was 1994. The average person didn't have a home computer just yet, or a laptop, or there was no cell phones, nothing like that. Google didn't even exist. YouTube didn't exist. There was nothing. It was just ESPN and a few other local sports channels. All right, so we're going to sign out here, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you very much for engaging with us. King Jamie, like always, you're a brother.
Talk that sass, nigga.
We will be back on Saturday to make our Game 7 predictions, and we're going to put people on the ultimate pressure chamber, baby. Let's fucking get it.
Give me a hell yeah!
Remember, this is the podcast where viewer has say. If you have a webcam, we will send you a link so we can put you on a little screen back there talking, or hop on the mic and talk your shit.
Finish him!
Once again, peace out, motherfuckers. Subscribe.